My life has a tempo drought. It is the disciplined, adagio pace of a bach cello suite, a world built on practice, precision, and the relentless pursuit of perfection. As the principal cellist of the city's Philharmonic Orchestra, my days are measured in metronome clicks and the subtle tension of a horsehair bow on a catgut string. My sister, Roxy, as her fans screamed, lived her life in a perpetual, chaotic crescendo. She was an indie rock singer who mistook notoriety for fame and chaos for our daughter. Our mother called her passionate. I called her a Category 5 hurricane. I just never expected to be standing in the eye of the storm. The storm broke on a Tuesday. I was in my soundproof home studio, coaxing a difficult passage from a Brahms sonata for my upcoming solo recital. This recital was the culmination of my career, and I was to play it on a priceless 17th-century Montrognana cello, on loan from a wealthy patron. My phone buzzed, shattering the focused silence. It was Roxy, her face a grainy, kinetic blur on the screen, a battered fan visible behind her. "Clara, guess what? The muse is calling," she yelled over the sound of a roaring engine. "I'm hitting the road. 8 weeks, just me, this fan, and the raw, untamed soul of America. I'm going to write the most authentic album of my life." "Roxy, that's ambitious," I said, my grip tightening on my bow. "What about Leo and Mia? That's the beauty of it." "They're staying with you," she declared, as if granting me a great honor. "They need some of your boring, stable energy while I'm out here bleeding for my art. It's perfect." She blew a kiss at the camera and hung up, leaving me in a silence now filled with a roaring dread. That night, my 8-year-old nephew Leo and 6-year-old niece Mia were dropped off by Roxy's exhausted manager. They were two small, quiet children, adrift in the wake of their mother's chaos. Their idea of a lullaby was one of Roxy's feedback-drenched anthems. My world of structured harmony was completely alien to them. The first week felt like a dissonant chord, held indefinitely. The kids were restless, unused to the quiet routine of my life. I had the recital of a lifetime to prepare for, and now I was a full-time parent. I called Roxy, determined to set a boundary. "This isn't working, Roxy. You need to find another solution," I stated. I heard her take a drag from a cigarette. "Oh, so my kids are an inconvenience to your precious little fiddle club?" She sneered. "You know what, Clara, you push me." I pushed back harder. "I'll get someone to deepfake an audio of you saying the most vile, racist things about Maestro Antonovich. I'll leak it to the press, start a little rumor that you're sleeping with him to keep your spot. In your staffy little world, a scandal like that, it's a career killer. Don't test me." The threat was surgically cruel. Maestro Antonovich was my mentor, a kind, elderly man who had championed my career. The accusation would not only get my contract terminated, it would sever the most important professional relationship of my life. I felt sick. She had me, and she knew it. I couldn't abandon the kids, and I couldn't fight Roxy's fire with fire. So I turned to the only thing I knew, music. But not my music. No Brahms. I saw how the kids flinched from the intense discipline of my practice. So I rolled out an old keyboard from the closet. "Forget the rules," I told them. "Let's just play." We started with simple games, learning notes as colors and rhythms as animal sounds. It was messy and silly, but they were engaged. Then, one afternoon, as I was playing a simple folk tune, Mia began to hum along. Her voice was small, but her pitch was perfect. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated harmony. I started teaching them songs, simple two-part harmonies. Leo, ever the serious one, became fascinated with the music composition app on my tablet, meticulously arranging little melodies. In the space between my world and theirs, we were creating a new kind of music, a fragile, beautiful trio. This fragile piece was shattered by a mother. She arrived like a whirlwind of perfume and judgment, a champion of Roxy's artistic authenticity. "You're stifling them, Clara," she declared, watching Mia and Leo quietly work on a puzzle. "You need to support your sister's journey, not try to turn her children into boring little copies of you." "I'm giving them a routine, Mom, something they've never had," I said, my voice tight. "Routine is the death of art," she proclaimed. "Roxy has a fire in her soul. You just have technique." The argument escalated, the same child refrains of our childhood. In her frustration, she gestured wildly, her handbag swinging. "All you care about is this. This dead wood." Her bag caught the heavy, cast-iron metronome on my music stand. I watched in slow-motion horror as it toppled over, landing with a sickening crack directly on the belly of the Montrognana cello. A spiderweb of fractured wood bloomed on the ancient varnish. The soul of the instrument was broken. My own soul cracked with it. The recital was in 3 weeks. As my mother stammered apologies, all I could feel was a cold, silent rage. The next day, a frantic call came from Roxy's manager. "Clara, I'm so sorry," he whispered. "There's no trouble. Roxy, she had an incident. An overdose scare at a party. We got it hushed up, but the label forced her into a private rehab facility in Arizona. She's not creating an album, she's just trying to survive. The lies, the blackmail, the broken cello, it all clicked into a devastating composition of desperation and self-destruction. Roxy, however, didn't stay in rehab. On the night of my recital, she escaped. I was backstage. The hastily but masterfully repaired cello resting on its stand. A luthier had worked a miracle, but he warned me the instrument was incredibly fragile. The scar on its body was a stark reminder of my family's chaos. 5 minutes to curtain, the stage manager told me Jod, and then I heard her. Where is she? Where is my sanctimonious sister? Roxy's voice, raw and slurred, echoed through the quiet reverence of the backstage area. She stumbled in, drunk and wild-eyed, a ghost at the feast. My colleagues, Maestro and Tronovich, they all froze. Roxy, you can't be here, I whispered, trying to guide her away. Oh, I can't. She sneered, her voice rising to a shriek. You're stealing my kids, turning them against me, trying to steal my life. She lunged, not at me, but at the cello. This is all this family ever cared about anyway, this stupid wooden box. I moved to block her, to protect the instrument. She shoved me hard. I lost my footing and fell backward, my shoulder colliding with the sharp corner of a set piece. A collective gasp filled the room as stagehands rushed to intervene. The entire ugly meltdown, the accusations, the assault had played out in front of my entire professional world, and it was all captured by the venue's unblinking security cameras. Roxy was arrested for assault and trespassing. The story came out, not as a deepfake rumor, but as a sad, verifiable police report. The rehab facility, contacted by the authorities, provided a detailed report of her instability and her flight risk. The custody hearing was grim. Roxy, against all advice, chose to represent herself. When the judge asked her to make a statement, she stood up, grabbed the witness stand like a microphone, and closed her eyes. She tried to sing Jot. It started as a raw, guttural howl, one of her signature rock anthems. But the words wouldn't come. Jot. Her voice cracked, the melody dissolved, and she was left standing there, screaming. A string of incoherent, agonizing sounds. Jot. It was the sound of a complete and utter collapse. I was granted full and sole custody. Months later, the house is quiet again, but it's a different kind of quiet. It's not the empty silence of solitude, but the peaceful hum of a life being lived. Leo is at the table, his brow furrowed in concentration, as he uses his composition app to write a score for Mia's voice. And Mia, my little songbird, is at the old keyboard, practicing a folk song we learned together. Her voice, clear and true, fills the room. In the corner, the Munchop Nana cello rests on its stand. The scar is still there, a fine, dark line on the rich wood. It's no longer a mark of damage, but a sign of resilience. A reminder that even when things are broken, they can be repaired. They can still make beautiful music. My life is no longer a solo. It's a trio, and the harmony is sweeter than I ever could have imagined.